called to order at 7 p.m. The agenda and minutes for recommendations, the adoption of the agenda. It is recommended that the agenda for the November 12th, 2020 regular meeting is approved as presented with additions, corrections, or deletions as recommended by the board. There are late items,
There are
correct?
late items, if you look at it, late items 11, 12, 13, and that'll run items 1 through 7, largely band and a wrestling assignment.
May I have,
And then, if you received an earlier, copy of the agenda, Kohana Wilkes has been removed from appointments and transferred down to the other items, because we had him categorized incorrectly as a coach. So Kohana Wilkes appears in the late items.
Am I the only one who's not, the agenda that doesn't have the spaces for who votes and mine's incorrect?
yeah, mine's correct.
You got the early version. Oh, she put it in your folder. Yeah, she put it, we have it here. She had put it in your folder thinking you were gonna be here, because originally you were gonna be here this evening. Do you want me to send you a picture of this?
No.
Okay. We've got the correct version here.
Okay.
May I have a motion to approve this recommendation?
I'll make the motion.
Motion is made by Mr. Opel. Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Seconded by Mr. Engel. Excuse me. For those voting for, Mr. Engel,
Aye.
Mr. Opel,
Aye.
Mr. Hanger,
Aye.
Ms. Batista,
Aye.
motion passes 5-0. 11-12-2, approval of minutes. It is recommended that the minutes from the October 8th, 2020 executive session, September 10th, 2020 regular meeting be approved as presented. May I have a motion to approve the minutes?
I will make that motion.
Motion's made by Ms. Batista. May I have a second? Seconded by Mr. Hanger. How do you vote, Mr. Engel?
Aye.
Mr. Opel?
Aye.
Mr. Hanger?
Aye.
Ms. Batista?
Aye.
Motion passes 5-0. Business office recommendations.
Sorry, that's my turn. Approval of claims, it's recommended the claim numbers 982 through 1108 be approved as presented.
Do I have a motion to approve the claims?
I'll make the motion.
Motion is made by Mr. Engel. Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Seconded by Mr. Hanger. Are there any questions? No questions, then how do you vote, Mr. Engel?
Aye.
Mr. Opel?
Aye.
Mr. Hanger?
Aye.
Ms. Batista?
Aye.
Motion passes 5-0.
Approval of payroll, it's recommended that regular payrolls for November 13, 2020 and November 27, 2020 be approved for payment.
May I have a motion to approve the payrolls?
I'll make the motion.
Motion's made by Ms. Batista. Do I have a second?
Yeah.
Second by Mr. Hanger. The vote, Mr. Engel,
Aye.
Mr. Opel,
Aye.
Mr. Hanger, Ms. Batista.
Aye.
Motion passes 5-0.
Bank reconciliation, it's recommended that bank reconciliation from October 30, 2020 be approved as presented.
May I have a motion to approve the bank reconciliation?
I'll make it.
Motion is made by Mr. Hanger. May I have a second?
I'll second it.
Seconded by Mr. Engel. Mr. Engel, how do you vote?
Aye.
Mr. Opel,
Aye.
Mr. Hanger,
Aye.
Ms. Batista.
Aye.
Motion passes 5-0.
Madam President, or Madam Vice President, I do not believe have a presentation. The next part would be participation at school board meetings, public comments on the agenda items, and we neglected to put podium up, but you can stand here at the front table and identify yourself. Okay. Personnel, resignations and retirements. Rusty Smith, resignation, North Harrison Elementary School Instructional Assistant, effective October 21, 2020. And Linda Stroud, retirement, North Harrison High School Custodian, effective November 4, 2020.
May I have a motion to accept these retirements?
I'll make the motion.
Motion is made by Ms. Batista. May I have a second?
I'll second it.
Seconded by Mr. Opel. Mr. Engel, how do you vote?
Aye.
Mr. Opel?
Aye.
Mr. Hanger?
Aye.
Ms. Batista?
Aye.
Motion passes 5-0.
Appointments. Morgan Roller, North Harrison Middle School Volunteer Girls Basketball Coach, effective 10/20/2020. Mark Wetzel, North Harrison Middle School 7th grade Girls Basketball Coach, effective 10/19/2020. Janelle Wilkins, North Harrison Middle School 8th grade Girls Basketball Coach, effective 10/19/2020. Haley Book, North Harrison High School Summer Softball Coach, effective October 22, 2020. And Mary Howe, Morgan Elementary School Yearbook Sponsor, effective November 12, 2020. Dusty Rhodes, North Harrison High School Wrestling Volunteer, effective November 2nd, 2020. Deanna Turner, North Harrison High School Wrestling Volunteer. That is Deanne, right? Turner, Wrestling Volunteer, effective November 2nd, 2020. Jennifer Schulmiller, North Harrison High School Custodian, effective November 3rd, 2020. And Lori Minton, North Harrison Community Schools Floater Custodian, effective November 3rd, 2020.
May I have a motion to accept these appointments?
I'll make that motion.
Motion's made by Mr. Engel. Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Seconded by Mr. Opel. Are there any comments on these appointments? No comments, and how do you vote, Mr. Engel?
Aye.
Mr. Opel?
Aye.
Mr. Hanger?
Aye.
Ms. Batista?
Aye.
Motion passes 5-0.
Under other items, it's recommended that the board approve a transfer of contracted bus route number 29 from Delena Whitaker to Mark Scott at the rate of $177.53 per day. The contract would begin October 19, 2020, and last through the 2022-23 school year, which is when all of our contract drivers' contracts expire.
May I have a motion to accept this recommendation?
I'll make that motion.
Motion is made by Mr. Hanger. May I have a second?
I'll second it.
Seconded by Ms. Batista. Are there any comments or questions about this recommendation? Mr. Engel, how do you vote?
Aye.
Mr. Opel?
Aye.
Mr. Hanger?
Aye.
Ms. Batista?
Aye.
Motion passes 5-0.
It's recommended the board approve the 2021-22 school calendar, this is next year, with early release and iLearn iStep assessment windows to be added when available. And just as a note, this calendar mirrors the current calendar in terms of its structure.
May I have a motion to accept the calendar?
I'll make that motion.
Motion is made by Mr. Opel. May I have a second?
I'll second it.
Seconded by Mr. Engel. Are there any questions or comments on the calendar? Mr. Engelman, how do you vote?
Aye.
Mr. Opel?
Aye.
Mr. Hanger?
Aye.
Ms. Batista?
Aye.
Motion passes 5-0.
It's recommended the board approve an increase to Tom Luther's contract bus route of 4.0 miles per day. This would be an increase in his route to 52.8 miles from 52.8 miles to 56.8 miles per day. This change is to be made immediately. And just a note, this is part of that effort to put all of our highway stops door side per state statute.
May I have a motion to accept this recommendation?
I'll make the motion.
Motion is made by Ms. Batista. May I have a second, please?
I'll second.
seconded by Mr. Hanger. Mr. Engel, how do you vote?
Aye.
Mr. Opel?
Aye.
Mr. Hanger?
Aye.
Ms. Batista?
Aye.
Motion passes 5-0. Now for discussion.
I'll just do my part, give superintendent comments. And then.
Or do you want to do the late items first?
Oh, sorry. Yeah, let's go on to late items. You're right, late items first. Late items, Izzy Peak, North Harrison High School Band Guard Instructor, effective November 12, 2020. Cassie Roberts, North Harrison High School Band Guard Assistant, effective November 12, 2020. Amanda Evans, North Harrison High School Marching Tech, effective November 12, 2020. Matthew Neville, North Harrison High School Band Drumline Instructor, effective November 12, 2020. Tim Carver, North Harrison High School Band Drumline Assistant, effective November 12, 2020. Griffin Webster, North Harrison High School Band Marching Tech, effective November 12, 2020. And Kohana Wilkes, North Harrison High School Assistant Wrestling Coach, effective November 12, 2020.
May I have a motion to accept these late items?
I'll make the motion.
Motion's made by Mr. Engel. May I have a second?
I'll second.
Seconded by Mr. Hanger. Is there any discussion on the late items? And Mr. Engel, how do you vote?
Aye.
Mr. Opel?
Aye.
Mr. Hanger?
Aye.
Ms. Batista?
Aye.
Motion passes 5-0. Now, discussion items.
I'll just wait to my
Okay. And then informational items? No, okay. No informational items either. Okay. Board members, during,
I don't have any.
Mr. Opel?
I'm good, thank you.
Okay. I would just like to make a couple of comments. First of all, I've been using watching the virtual, like the basketball game online the other night, and it went very well, I thought. I wish you could see the score, but I know that's an impossibility. And also, I thought the Veterans Day program was very well done. Everybody put a lot of work into that. I mean, with the way things are right now, and everybody's so busy, I just appreciate all the work that went into it, and I enjoyed watching it. And I thought the students, the band, the choir, everybody did an excellent job.
Just to kind of piggyback on you talked about the virtual game, that's a huddle cam that's in the gym and it basically just follows the action. So it's not a live person, so there's really no way for a score.
Well, that's really neat. I thought somebody was up there moving the camera.
No, it just somehow follows the action in the game. Does a pretty good job doing that. So it's not,
Yes, it
it's
did.
not a person doing that. It's
Because you could see all the action. It was really,
yeah, it's really neat.
It was.
Mr. Pearson did a great job getting that going.
I'll be watching a lot of those.
It's kind of amazing how it works. I mean, I guess it keys off the ball. I'm not sure how the technology works. But it is pretty astounding. It does a pretty good job. You're up there. I mean, it's a distant shot, but you can see what's going on in all the action. A few just quick comments from me. Number one on Linda Stroud. Linda was one of my very first employees when I was at Morgan Elementary. I know her son is here this evening, and one of the first ones in the old cafeteria. We could always rely on her for cakes and all kinds of things. And then later on, she transferred up here to get more year-round employment. The cafeteria at that time was not year-round employment, and worked up here. And really, to be honest with her, I told her about 2 years ago, Linda, you're actually losing money working for us, because she had other benefits that would have kicked into play if she wanted to retire. She just said, no, I just want to keep on working. So she retired November 1st, and then we had a quarantine situation at our high school cafeteria, and I called her like November 4th and begged her to come back and go back to work. So Linda's actually getting to retire, I think, tomorrow, because she's back down and helping us at Morgan Elementary as we pulled staff to cover those areas. So I can't say enough about her dedication to school, and she was an employee that showed up every day. Never had to worry about Linda Stroud, and we have a lot of employees that do that every day for us. And so, and with this pandemic and things, she stuck it out. We've got a lot of employees that are going above and beyond. And to that end, on custodians, we can't get enough custodians. We say that's a floater custodian. That floater custodian on the agenda's already been plugged in somewhere, and we're already 2 custodians down based on other issues in the corporation. So that is a job that does have full-time hours and full-time benefits. So if there's someone interested in that kind of job, they can certainly reach out to us. I too am pretty enamored with the Huddle program. We are going to figure out some better ways to stream these meetings as well for folks to join us. And I'll try to get something out. And it may just be a Google Meet. We have Mr. Kellums with us joining us, so he can at least hear the meeting this evening. And we may mount. I'll figure out something. We don't have the capacity right now in here to do what I want to do, so we're going to try to figure that out and make it a little better. As many of you well know, our school community, our county, is in the orange. If you follow the COVID charts, and it goes blue, yellow, orange, red. You know, and it's kind of amazing if you think about it. In late March, we were out of school because there were positive cases in Avon, more or less, and a few positive cases down along the river dealing with it. I know, you remember you got the call that if you were at Walmart on March 17th, you should quarantine. But I was in produce and he was in automotive. And we've come a long way from there. We've got some healthcare providers here, and my own children are, and I know we know ways of treating, we know ways of dealing with. But we are looking at what we're seeing in terms of our hospital capacities and things, and the numbers are up. We're setting new records every day. And so when we're in orange, we're going to be restricting our capacities in our gym to 25%. If we get to red, it's just going to be parents in the gym. We're trying to do all we can do to make this as normal as we can so our kids don't lose anything else to this pandemic. But this is an adult problem, not a kid problem. Are you going to put that in the paper? Now, I'm not trying to be political, but our numbers are rising, and we're well aware of that. And our kids have been great. Our kids have been phenomenal. Our staff has been great. But if we want to continue to have these events, everybody's going to have to pitch in and do the right thing and help out. I can't tell you. For some reason, I get a little pitter patter in seeing the late items of all the band people, because band lost their marching season. And so getting to see the winter, the drumline of these folks, and these things come into fruition is important. It's important for our kids. We're going to do everything we can to maintain that. But we're going to keep everybody safe. And that includes having enough staff to staff the buildings and do things in a good way. So as we move forward, I just encourage everybody to do the right thing as we move forward into Thanksgiving. I'm not telling you anything you don't know. And I want to be honest with you. I get more. No, I always want to be honest. In all honesty, I get all kinds of positive comments and emails and people just wanting to offer and knowing that they want their kids in school. They want this sense of normalcy because we know how tragic it was for kids last year. So we're going to do everything we can to help our kids stay here and stay safe, and as important, to keep our staff, our faculty safe going forward. But we're going to continue to monitor it. And we're really pushing up against the edge of what we can do in keeping kids in school. And I think it's important that people understand that. I reported 5 positive cases on Monday. And they're spread out in the different buildings, and it was a combination of adults, and all of it draws back to community. Every time we've had a positive case, someone has said, oh, his wife came home, and oh, her husband came home, or oh, they went to grandma's. We know where these cases are coming from. We are a reflection of the community, not the other way around. So please help us in that regard as we move forward. I can't say enough about our students. They've been terrific. I know if you come to our school board meetings, you've heard that ad nauseum. Our staff, our teachers have really stepped up in trying to keep everybody safe. And I don't want all of our efforts to have been for naught, and that's to kind of run against it. So we're going to do all we can to keep our ECAs going, and our games, and our marching, and our FFA, and all those things as best we can going forward to keep the kids safe and keeping our kids in school as best we can. And I cannot celebrate enough the folks in our school system and their efforts and this Herculean effort to keep things going. New Albany, Floyd County had to shorten their bus routes this morning because they didn't have enough bus drivers. So hang in there, stay vigilant, and help us help our kids and help us keep our schools open. Man, I don't know what that's going to look like in the newspaper. Thanks. So, Again, I appreciate it. I appreciate everyone coming out tonight. We will push out something about streaming this for next meeting, so we got a little better streaming opportunity, to keep everybody safe, okay? Thank you. I really appreciate it. And, oh, one final thing. If you ever have a question about anything, about any decisions, do not hesitate to reach out and call me. I don't mind to talk through the explanations and kind of give you as much background as I can on anything. I think Ms. Batista, did you have a comment?
Well, not about the, COVID. I meant to do this actually earlier, but, I wanted to congratulate our football team on a good year this year. Under the circumstances and everything that was going on, and then they ended up with, what, a 6-3 record and won the first game of the sectional, and a hard battle in the second game. So, thanks to Coach Williamson and all his staff and all the players. And, you know, they went through their season and stayed pretty safe. So, I applaud that effort as well. And, anyway, I just wanted to say something about that. That was it, really.
Thank you. I do want to echo about the VETS program. The VET program was pretty cool, given what all we had to be able to do to pull that together. So, that's it.
Okay, it is recommended that the meeting be adjourned at 7:22 PM. Do I have a motion for adjournment? Motion's made by Mr. Hanger. Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Seconded by Mr. Opel. Mr. Engel?
Aye.
Mr. Opel?
Aye.
Mr. Hanger?
Aye.
Ms. Batista?
Aye.
Motion passes 5-0.
Thank you, everyone.